welcome back, guys. And we just actually saw Rain kind of do what he does best, apparently.
I've that it, it was I don't know, it was funny and good at the same time, I guess, because I wanted him to show that he does his standard play very well, but I mean,
Right.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So,
Yeah, I mean, the most annoying factor of that was that Marine was kind of in that corner pocket right down the
mhm.
ramp, and there's a lot of Zergs, especially. I mean, if you think back to the, I don't think you actually, I think it was me and probably Apollo, but MMA versus Lucky over in the Korean Online qualifier for the MLG Winter Arena. And Lucky actually just six pulled in games 2 and 3 because MMA opened up and did basically what Rain just did, albeit a little bit better because MMA is probably a little bit better than Rain. But it's just so frustrating because you really have to play it perfect, and if you don't, if there's one little hiccup as a Zerg, it's very, very hard to come back from that.
Every single time it's going to be hard. Now, the blunder that Symbol made going into that, well, I guess defending that attack,
Right.
was that he didn't reassign his drones attacks, so the drones automatically wanted to attack the Marine behind, and because the SCV was just on a stop command,
Right.
the drones get confused, and that's just the way that the AI works, because you're trying to attack something that's behind that's behind like a non-hostile unit. So you have to manually attack that SCB if you're going to be able to get back to the one Marine behind. And there was, he was really vulnerable, right? There was only one Marine back there.
Right. Right. So, have some
Yep. So
trouble.
game number 2 is going to be happening relatively soon. I hope that we get to see a longer game so we can actually get to see some of these players' potential overall. Oh, yes, and there's the invite. Let's take a look at what map Symbol chose. Looking like interesting. Symbol chose Antigua Shipyard.
So yeah, we are going to be playing on Antigua Shipyard, and both players actually ready right away. So let's go ahead and get this started. Now, one thing about MLG Antigua Shipyard is it is cross position. So, I mean, even on a map like Dual Side, it did take some time to get over there. On a map like Antigua, it's going to take probably 2 or 3 more seconds. I don't know the exact cross rush distances. That is hard to say.
You said
Right.
it.
I know. I got through it. We got through it. So we'll see here, though. So up here in the top left-hand corner, Rob, who do we got?
Up here in the upper left-hand corner, JP, we've got the Red Terran player. He just won with lots of SCVs and Marines. Rain.
He did, indeed. And down here in the bottom right,
Oh, well, JP down here in the bottom right, hailing from TSL, we're pretty sure, playing as the Blue Zerg, Symbol.
so now
Huh.
I want to know what Rain does in game 2. Does he do something the same? Does he go for the safe player and play a long, drawn-out game? I mean, uh, I don't actually know because I don't. Every game that I think I've casted or seen has been a TBT against Boxer where it's like 6 hours long for Rain. So I don't actually know what his TBZ is outside of that very early opening with the proxy. Whoa, what is this drone doing? I guess he's looking around for some proxies.
Is this going to potentially... Oh, okay, he's actually just making sure that Rain's not doing anything crazy.
Yeah, yeah, and will he be going for the hatch first here? It's already up to 14 supply, so I do indeed think he will.
I'm
Yeah,
hoping...
there he is. Go for
Oh...
hatch first again.
I was going to say I'm hoping that he goes for the spawning pool first and does like the hatch second so you can get out your queen and your zerglings.
Yeah.
Having the queen and the zerglings out of that time makes it at least a little bit easier to
Right.
defend any sort of crazy aggression. But it's not looking like... Man, Rain is going CC first.
He is. He is. So he's switching it up here. He's already up one game. Feels comfortable playing the macro match here against Symbol. And, you know, I'm actually pretty excited here because we finally get to see what Symbol's ZVT is really made of as he has put down his hatch. Spawning pool should soon follow here as he's quickly approaching that. But I want to know what he does. I mean, is he going to be the standard Zerg where it's basically Mutaling? Is he going to work in some Banelings? Will he go for that Infestor style of play? Will he be kind of like Sheth earlier against Poe where he went for that Crackling Infestor style of play all the way up to Broodlords very, very quickly? A la kind of what Stefano was trying to do last night. I'm not so sure, so I'm very interested to see what this Symbol player is going to be doing here.
Yeah, now Rain could also just be, well, I mean, I guess the chances aren't very high, but you know how people can do the like 2 orbital commands in base,
Right.
right? And just go like 5 or 7 racks or something like that. You're able to sustain for a little while.
Right.
If instead you mind game your opponent by placing that orbital command outside, so they think you're macroing, and you actually just add 5 barracks inside, and then all of a sudden your opponent builds his 3rd hatchery,
Yeah.
you could actually just push through.
No, I think what Rain is going to open up with, at least to start with, will be a reactored Hellion build here off of 2 base, which, I mean, that's just your bread and butter when it comes to this matchup. And, ooh, he will be scouting this 3rd base here with that SCV and sees it almost immediately. Let's see how he responds to that. Should be adding on the factory here pretty soon as he just eclipsed that 100 gas point. And there's the SCV being pulled. Factory going to be put down right next to that ramp. Should see the reactor as well coming up for that racks. But over here we got a couple Lings out, chasing around some SCVs. Starting to drone up some. Still only has 1 gas, but he got it pretty late. We'll see if he, well, he's probably just going to be getting speed, and then we'll see what tech he goes for after that.
The possibilities are endless, JP. And now I think that after Rain finishes up this 1 Marine, we are going to see that reactor go down just in time, so that as soon as the factory finishes, it's going to be able to lift off and double pump some Hellions. Now, I'm not 100% sure on the timings of getting things to defend. Of course, and there it is, the Roach Warren. So we can obviously see that Symbol is familiar with the Hellion opening here, because throwing down that Roach Warren now means that by the time that any Hellions are on the map, and especially by the time that they even make it all the way over there, they're going to be effectively useless unless he unless Symbol puts too many drones at his 3rd.
Yeah, that is a good point here, and we'll see. Right now he's only got 2. And he does have his drones rally there at the 3rd hatchery, so we'll see how far he can get up to. Right now, his drone count is at 34. Hellions are going to be popping out here from this factory in just a couple seconds, and we're going to really see what Rain wants to do this with these Hellions. Will he get up to 4 and just kind of do the small poking, or will he go for something more risky and try to kind of chance it all, getting a huge amount of drones?
Now, what I want to see is where these roaches are actually being built. How many of those eggs are roaches? Okay. So, I mean, I guess the natural is close enough. And there he is, using the roaches to block that ramp. That's probably the one vulnerable area. He's also bringing up additional roaches up there, and we can see that Rain is now forced to maneuver around. He almost has a bit of a soft surround onto those Hellions, not able to stop them, but able to put on enough pressure that they're forced to get out of his hair.
Yeah. And, you know, with only 2 Hellions, that was smart of Rain to not try to overcommit to that attack. He's going to have a couple more here joining up as they just pop out. Meanwhile, Zed on the racks, already getting stem. Does have that 3rd CC started. Lair Tech going down here for Symbol. Hasn't added on any more. Oh, actually, as I say that, he's adding on
all of that gas.
3 more gas. Yeah. So probably going to be going, I would think, for that Infestor style of play. We'll see here, though, in just a couple seconds.
Now, up here in Rain's base, he has began his starport. So we could see some, I mean, again, a really big push. I want to know, well, clearly he's getting medevacs, clearly he's getting medevacs because he is upgrading infantry. He's adding additional barracks. He also has stim on the way. And this could be a pretty nasty push depending on the timing that Symbol gets. Now, Symbol's actually added an extra evolution chamber somewhere. I'm not sure if that was a blunder, if he's using it to block one of his mineral lines.
See, we got 2 here, and the
maybe it's just
one.
Backup.
Maybe.
Oh no, you can upgrade all 3 things at once, I guess.
You can go for the triple. Oh no, he actually cancels one of them at the last second, so he notices that was a little bit of a blunder here. And you know, he's going for a pretty roach heavy build here, getting the roach speed. Hasn't started those upgrades just yet, but at the same time, Rain getting his upgrades very, very quickly as well.
And that the macro hatch as well, right? So Symbol's going to have 4 hatches now to just pump out so many roaches. And interestingly, we see him upgrading melee attacks.
Yeah. Maybe he wants to go for some quick ultras later on here. Still no infestation pit, though. A lot of roaches. But yeah, I guess he's just using these roaches to kind of fend off. And yep, there goes the infestation pit. So I would think that he's going to go for those ultras with those upgrades that he's actually choosing, but maybe going for that crackling infestor build as well. We'll see though here in a couple seconds.
Man, he's gonna have. I think he's gonna have a tricky time getting up to Hive.
Yeah,
Because of the timing that Rain is going to be able to attack. And here we have Rain getting in with a bit of a well, what'll probably be a massively denied push because he just has so many fast ground forces. He's able to get in there. Oh, wow, a little bit of miss micro from Rain there, not continuing down with all of those Hellions. He easily could have sniped off a couple of drones. It's unfortunate for him, but at least he's staying active on the map. Now up in front of Rain's base, let's see what's going on. And there's some roaches just finding out what's happening. Of course, he knows that these two bunkers almost automatically tells him that Rain is trying to establish his third.
and Symbol actually has a pretty large force here, 138 supply to 102, and only one of those bunkers is finished. He's going to rush in here. That one medevac has a lot of stuff in it that needs to land. Those Marines are getting destroyed, Rob.
Yeah, combat shields just finished right before this fight, but I'm not sure that it's going to be enough. He can easily take down that right bunker. Oh, man, an additional reinforcements coming down from the third and scaring back Symbol. He is forced into an all-out retreat. Rain making a great defense because all of his infantry upgrades just wrapped up right as that attack was happening.
And here he goes actually once again here. Let's see as now that bunker falls, but he has so many Marines here with the 1-1 upgrades. He's going to be able to take out the remaining roaches and throw down 2 more bunkers as well. We see over here that the 4th base / 5th hatchery has been put down, as well as 6 more infestors, and there is that quick hive tech.
Yeah, and so I really don't know if he had a lot of roaches, and his force was pretty much good to go, and he chose to turn around and finish off a bunker, and then not really have a chance to kill any of the Marines. I mean, Marines take 4? No, I guess still. Yeah. They still take 4 attacks, even with their 1 armor upgrade. Oh man, that's such a good portrait of DRG.
That is one. He was just showing us a portrait that I think a fan did of DRG. We'll try to get that on Twitter or something like that. Remember to follow me at Twitter at twitter.com/MAJP. Follow Rob at Rob P. Simpson. But going back into this game, we've got some sneaky infestors here. And the Lings are kind of scouting around to see if there's any turrets. And will he see?
Oh, no detection. Is he going to see the shadows? Oh man, he is getting up into the main. This could be maximum carnage.
You know, he's not even looking right now. So, no, he has no idea if the infestors are. Well, now he knows because there are a huge amount of infested Terrans here. And it's so smart. He's going to focus down those engineering bays and deny those 2-2 upgrades. That is very, very smart. Now the infestors are in the main base here, but he scans. It doesn't see him, so it looks like he's retreating because over here at the main we have the ramp, we have a ton of Lings running by as well into his 3rd base. Symbol playing very, very strong here, as we kind of expected him to statistically in the mid to late game.
This is, I don't know if I like using infested Terrans like that. Now Rain gets down, he gets information on where the 4th base is. Oh, wow, a bit of a spidey sense there, figuring, okay, well, where could these things have possibly gone? Scanning his base twice to eliminate those 2 infestors. Not a terrible trade as far as resources go. Now there are still infestors out at the 3rd base, and now the SCVs are transferring away. Apparently they may have tried a little bit of aggression. Maybe they dropped down a couple infested Terran, but I'm not sure how many kills they got.
And that Ultralisk Cavern is down. Some Lings here running into the middle of the map. 2-2 upgrades against the 2-1 Marines of Rain. He's actually going for a huge attack here with a handful of tanks kind of scattered in his army. Doing his best to try to clean up the creep, but there are a bunch of Banelings and 3 infestors here with a lot of energy. He can get a nice, he's moving in right before the siege. The Fungals going down, and the Banelings connecting. He's going to be able to live for quite a bit longer now, as, you know, he doesn't have really the mobile bioforce to do anything against his opponent at this time.
Right, so it was really fortunate that we saw Symbol able to get in there and land those Fungals, right? But Rain still has a ton of units. He's moving even more units all the way across the center of the map to back up with these forces, although his Marines are caught out of position once again, and plenty out of range of those back 2 siege tanks. So Symbol gets some free kills.
Yeah. We got 4 ultras on the way here. Rain, I mean, this force is just not big at all. At the same time, he's doing some damage over here to this 4th base with this drop, and also encroaching on the main little tri-ramp area. Some Lings running out here. Those upgraded Lings do so much damage for only such little cost here. Bunch of Lings and ultras popping out. The hatchery gets finally focused down after taking a lot of damage earlier on. Now the ultras are having a hard time connecting here, but like I said, the army is just kind of scattered from Rain, but he's doing really good against this ultra, but it is having some complications really connecting. It does get taken out. Switching to Marauders was a good decision. I believe he did scan earlier on that the ultras were out, but here we go.
Some infested Terrans getting thrown in, and now we've got all of those Zerglings just coming in as well with the Ultralisk backup. Now, is he in range of enough of his siege tanks? Oh man, those Marines almost able to take down that one Ultralisk, and now Rain is retreating, although there's only a few Zerglings on him. He's getting in range of some additional reinforcements, and now he's going to be able to send those back.
He is rebuilding his 4th base over here, and 173 supply to 130. Here in the center, though, he's got a pretty big force, and, you know, Rain's going to have to start thinking of taking the 4th here pretty soon, as his main base is going to be mined out very, very quickly.
Man, yeah, 5 infested Terrans in comparison to throwing down like a fungal and a half. I don't know. Oh, man, although that time, because the siege tank was there, trying to get back in range of the SCVs, like, using the friendly fire to kill the SCVs is super smart.
Yeah. Got a bunch of Banelings being morphed in here. A drop for Rain coming into the 3rd base over here for Symbol.
Yeah, but with that spine crawler, it's just already so hard. You need so few additional Lings to completely stop a push like that, as long as you get there before all the Marines drop. Oh, a second drop as well, moving around the left side of the map now. This left base is entirely vulnerable. Oh, he's dropping before he gets down onto the creeps that he's going to be able to stim down. Now, none of these units are able to attack air, so Rain is going to have a freebie until they all make it down there, but will he be able to finish off the 5th base in time? Yes! He finishes off the hatchery and lifts off after only losing a couple units.
And at the same time, this other drop over on the right-hand side of the map has not gone in just yet. 2 Marines here. Oh, they actually sacrificed a lot of Banelings for those Marines, kind of just A-moving in the center of the map. Almost capped out for Symbol right now, 184 for his opponent. Here are the few remaining forces of that first drop. The other drop, though, has really not done anything, as it's still kind of waiting, and we do see the Carapace level 3 upgrade, as well as a Spire started here. And how and when is Symbol going to attack is the big question right now.
That, the Zerg Carapace level 3 upgrade. Now we see another push going down to the 5th. He's trying to deny that once again, using the ramp to his advantage, finishing off a lot of those units, and then he's pretty much able to retreat. I just really wanted to point out, I think that that's one of the only upgrades in the game that actually changes pictures with its levels. Oh, wow. Finishing off, I mean, Symbol's kind of got free reign over the map. He just has so many units that he's able to expand to everything, right? He's effectively expanding on the 50-yard line, which means that he has more, like, that means that you have more of the field than you should.
Right. Yeah, I mean, at this point, Rain is kind of starting to turtle up some, as, like you were saying, Symbol's taken the entire map. One more drop over here. For Rain was quickly picked up with these Lings, and once he gets his Spire out, I mean, he only needs a handful of mutants. Looks like he's just going to go for that Greater Spire right away, though. But he needs to start dealing with these medevacs, and once he does, you know, I'm not sure how Rain's going to be able to do much here. He's going to slowly start to move forward here and take this 4th base. In a couple of seconds, though, we might see a big engagement. Here's a big scan. He sees the entire army, and will Symbol decide to go here?
Oh.
Ramp does kind of limit his opportunities, but it looks like he is going. Oh. Well, no, he did take a fungal there and got a handful of units, but being very careful here, and Rain is actually kind of forcing this fight.
Rain actually needs to spread out his units a bit more. He needs to try to make sure that those fungals can't connect with entire squads of his force. I'm really surprised that we see Symbol being so timid with this. He's been awesome with landing all of his fungals previously. We have Rain also trying to establish his expansion out here into the center of the map. And, I mean, Symbol only needs to land a couple of fungals to just destroy his whole force. And now Rain moving around the back side of the map, trying to get a drop. out onto that third and get some damage done, but there just are not enough drones there to make
Did he
this
just
much
kill his
worth
own
his while.
medevac? Oh no, there was a spore
The
crawler
spore
there.
crawler, yeah.
Yeah. So the spore crawler takes out the medevac, and he decides to lift up the Marauders instead of those Marines. And at the same time, Rain is all over the place here, going once again and trying to focus down that hatchery, but the Banelings going to have something else to say about that. Picking up, saving a handful of those units.
Oh.
Meanwhile, the drop is going down over here on the right-hand side of the map. Rain is everywhere at this point.
Yeah, and so over there we actually just saw those infestors catch the couple of medevacs. Oh man, maybe he just didn't have enough energy to finish it off. We also saw some infested Terrans throw down to try to wrap that up, and now over here we see Rain. He just knocked out that third, but of course, Symbol's already got more bases ready elsewhere.
And this is, oh, he's going to start dropping some missile turrets. That's the kind of the sign for a long game is still ahead of us, guys. And here we go. The Broodlords are out on the map. This is a huge, huge force for Symbol. But Rain has set up a nice position, basically splitting the map, or trying to, as he's going to be cleaning up the Zerg forces on the left-hand side. But he doesn't have any Vikings just yet, only 2 in production here. No, he does have 2, but I'm not sure where they're at. Here come a huge amount of Broodlords, though, and he's immediately going to unsiege and get the hell out of town.
Well, one of the biggest parts is that there's only 19 Marines on the field right now in comparison to Symbol's 8 Broodlords. And, I mean, that math just doesn't add up for Rain to win that fight. He doesn't have very many things that can attack the air units. We saw a couple of Vikings out there, but they have pretty much disappeared. Oh yes, look at that Ultra Carnage onto the Planetary Fortress. That's what those things are used for. Oh man, these 2 Vikings are laying into the Broodlords as they try to eliminate the ground army. We need to see some backup from Symbol to protect those. They're going to be so crucial as the game goes on. The Ultralisk pushing back the ground force as the Corruptors wave their way across the map to finish off those Vikings.
He's basically just throwing these Ultras at nothing at this point. Here come the Corruptors. They will be able to clean up the medevacs as well as the Vikings. And with that, a huge fungal going down. Good game. Symbol taking game 2 there, showing, you know, once you get past that 2-3 minute mark, you don't get bunker rushed, you don't lose all your drones. He's actually very, very good.
It's funny because, like, on the flip side of the coin, I mean, we know that Rain's a good player, but it just seems like in those longer game situations he tends to get edged out, right? The longer that you can make a game against Rain last.
He was doing a pretty good job there towards the end against Symbol.
All the drops?
Yeah, all the drops. He was making them work for kind of every inch of the map, but once those Broodlords came out and Rain wasn't prepared for it with the Vikings, and even if he got 6-8 Vikings out, he would have just had to deal with the Corruptors as well. So basically, I mean, Symbol just played very, very well there. Played almost the best reactionary kind of decisions that you could, I think, in that matchup.
For a lot of his, I guess, unit composition overall, and he kind of had a plan going into it, I still think that he could have used the Infestors slightly differently and been a little bit more effective with them, because I don't know that stopping those upgrades is worth. Like, instead of doing that, he actually could have dropped enough fungals to just kill all of the SCVs at that base because there was no detection.
Right.
Or maybe he could have dropped enough Marines to just kill the orbital command, which we've seen with, like, the 4-Fester hit squad. But who knows? He still played so well and took the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, we're now tied 1-1 going into Game 3. But first, we got to kick it to a commercial. When we come back, Symbol versus Rain, Game 3. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys then.